Okay, welcome to the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe meeting. It's Monday, October the 6th at 7 p.m. and all of council is here and accounted for. We don't have our CAO, Morgan Calvert, with us tonight. He's at a conference. So we'll now call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none then, are there any additions to the agenda? Seeing none, then there is a recommendation that the agenda for the October 6, 2025 meeting of council be approved. Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Brody. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. So you've had a chance to read the minutes of the previous meeting from September the 15th. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing none, then we have a recommendation that those minutes from the Adelaide Metcalfe meeting held on September 15th, 2025 be adopted as printed. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Kingma. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, next up is the consent agenda. Is there anything you want pulled out of there? If not, then can I have a motion to the motion, we have a recommendation that items 6A through 6H listed under the heading of consent agenda for October 6th be adopted as recommended. Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Brody. All in favor? Carried. Okay, under correspondence, we just have one item. We have a request to support a resolution from Bondfield Township regarding the Canada Post labor dispute. Is there any conversation around that? Councillor Brody.
I'll support it. I think it's terrible. Go back to work, seriously.
Okay, you're not going to get any sympathy in Adelaide Metcalfe, and I think people know that, so that's okay. All right, we're a municipality. If you don't work today, you don't eat today, because we're a farming community. But having said all of that, would you like to make that a motion to support? Okay, is there a seconder? Councillor Kingma, all in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, next up are our staff reports. We have Fire Chief Dan Parker here tonight, and I'll turn this part of the meeting over to him to present the Adelaide Metcalfe Fire Department third quarter report for 2025.
Mayor Clark, thank you to you through to council. This report is to provide activities of the Adelaide Metcalfe Fire Department for the third quarter of 2025. So this year, or this quarter, has been quite busy for us on the roads and the highways. We've had 10 calls for motor vehicle collisions, 2 of which were extrication, and 1 was a tractor trailer rollover on the 402, which everybody was familiar with. A few grass fires, a couple, 3 medical assist responses. We did have 1 assist for mutual aid to Glencoe Station Southwest, and the remaining few calls were false alarm, smoke alarms. Our monthly highlights, July, the fire department attended Sports Day on July 26th at the Kerwood Park, hosting a prevention display and engaging with the children through equipment demonstrations and skill showcases. Our training sessions during the month focused on advancing our capabilities with our new SCBAs and different techniques with water supply. Our tanker from Fort Garry Fire Trucks from Manitoba is moving along. Expected delivery is in late October here. In August, Adelaide Metcalfe Firefighters Association hosted our annual fish fry on August 23rd. We had 385 attendees through the door, and it was a great success. Our silent auction had a great night. The association asked me to extend their sincere thanks to the community and to our donors for their continued support. And also at the park, 100 years of community The Adelaide Metcalfe Fire Department participated in the fireworks event and again offered a fire prevention display and touch a truck experience for the families. And August was actually a light month for our formal training, as many of the members took vacation time with families. And most of our efforts were focused on getting ready for the fish fry and organizing our silent auction. September was quite busy for us with road closures between paving and the railway reconstruction in Kerwood. We did have to relocate engine 2 to south of the railroad tracks to facilitate any calls to the south. This was a little bit longer drive around to make it through the construction. And we have a bit of a change to our roster. We had 3 retirements. Jeff Patterson retired with 25 years of service. Lucas Bork was with us for 6 years, and Jason Figueredo has retired with 3 years of service. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks to these firefighters for their dedicated service and wish them the very best in their new endeavors. Fire prevention services, our fire officer Kyle Kurasevich has been active conducting inspections and ensuring compliance with fire safety regulations. His current efforts continue to be focused on the commercial corridor along Center Road, with particular attention to the fire code and some of these new renovated buildings. That concludes my report for the third quarter. Take any questions or comments.
Okay, any questions for Dan? Councillor Brody.
Through you, Sue, to Dan. So with 3 retirements, are you recruiting more, or is there a plan for covering them off, or are you good shape without 3?
Right now, we're pretty good shape. Some of these retirements have been kind of in the works for a little bit. Probably in the new year, we will look again at our last time we recruited. We did have several resumes dropped off to the fire hall or emailed to myself. So we'll probably go through them again and have a look in January and maybe recruit some new firefighters. We're pretty lucky. A lot of our junior firefighters are, I would say, halfway through some of their training, so it might fill some gaps too that way. So.
Good. Anybody else have any questions? Well, I think it goes without saying, we're very appreciative of the team, and you do a great job, and pass that along that we appreciate them, that's for sure. Okay, if there's no other comments or questions, we have a recommendation that council receive the Adelaide Metcalfe Fire Department third quarter report for 2025 for information. Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, next up on the agenda is 8B, the 2026 Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, the OSIF, and I'll turn this over to our treasurer, Johnny Pereira.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Through to council. As you mentioned there, the province has just released the 2026 Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, which are funds to be used to support infrastructure renewal. So in 2026, the township is seeing an allocation of $178,759, which is an increase over the prior year, up by 16,251, which is a 10% increase, which is the maximum increase allowable in 2026. The prior year, the min and max was 15%, so they did adjust that this year. A significant contribution to this current replacement value was due to the exercise that was completed by the township, alongside with the township's asset management plan. Municipalities were required to submit the current replacement values of our assets to the province so they could assess the OCIF contribution for the year. From this allocation, this would be included in the draft budget for 2026 and be presented to the budget working group. So overall, the recommendation is to receive the report as presented. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Johnny. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, then we have a recommendation that the 2026 Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund report be received. Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor Brody, all in favor, and that's carried. Johnny, you're up for the next one as well, the application for a tile loan.
Thank you, Mayor Clark, through the council. Staff has received a tile loan application from David Bolton of Seldom Rest Farms for a tile loan, which is attached to this report. The request is $50,000, and this is due to the maximum loan threshold. If approved this evening, the drainage inspector would evaluate the tiling work by the licensed contractor and complete the inspection report. The township would complete all loan documentations with OMAFA, and staff will bring back a rating bylaw for the debenture for future council's approval. From a financial perspective, there is minimal impact to the township as there is an administration fee or inspection fee, sorry, of $250 applied to the tile loan. The recommendation is to approve the report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Johnny. Are there any questions? They're pretty straightforward. I might just comment that we did forward to other municipalities a request to support a resolution to ask OMAFRA to increase that amount based on the recommendation by Councillor Kingma, but I don't know that it got any traction just yet. So, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Through the mayor to members of council, just to speak on that. That resolution is actually still going around municipalities, and it's like the telephone game a bit. Now it's been increased to 200,000. So, and still no response. We did reach out to see if they received, and there was no response from council.
Thank you for the update. I wasn't aware of that. Okay, if there's no further questions or comments, we have a recommendation of the application submitted by Seldom Rest Farms, Family Farms Limited for the tile drain loan on concession 4, east part of lot 4, Township of Adelaide, and the municipality known as 1466 Napperton Drive be approved in accordance with the OMAFRA's policy for tile drainage for the current year, subject to approval and funding from OMAFRA. And that's not OMAFRA, I'm sorry, OMAFA. Moved by Councillor McKinnon, second by Councillor Kingma, all in favor, and that's carried. Okay, the next part, I'll turn over to our legislative clerk, Michael Barnier.
Thank you. Through the mayor to members of council. Very straightforward. We see this annually. And this is the council schedule for the proposed council schedule for 2026. Obviously on the bylaw, we're looking at the first and third Mondays when possible. We do have to take account civic holidays, especially when we're using the Monday as a holiday. So there is some changes. We generally have less meetings in the summer. We've also highlighted the conferences, the major municipal conferences on the calendar. And you will notice that the inaugural meeting of council, which is coming up, we'll talk about that in the next report, but Monday, November 16th is there as well. So straightforward, but unless there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thanks, Mike. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none then, we have a recommendation. The council approved the proposed council meeting schedule for 2026. Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Kingma, all in favor, and that's carried. Okay, next up on the agenda is also yours, Michael Barnier. Municipal and school board elections 2026 and the alternative voting methods and engagement of IntelliVote System, Inc.
Thank you. Through the mayor to members of council, as previously spoken, we are coming up quickly on elections, and there's definitely a lot of preparation in regards to that. So the first start is discussing the alternative voting methods. The previous 2014, 2018, and 2022 elections, we've used IntelliVote systems for internet and telephone voting successfully. We did do our due diligence so that the county clerks do meet. We're already meeting about elections and we share resources and discussions. So Adelaide Metcalfe actually organized all the voting vendors that participated in the last municipal election to make presentations to both counties. I think we had 4 of 5 that participated, including in televote. Most people right away felt most comfortable in televote, including Elgin. So we did go through kind of a group procurement based on the numbers. So we got a reduced rate, and you can see that in the financial implications that it's actually a cheaper election than last election. So each municipality in the county is either bringing a report forward with the same or have already been approved. So it works best, obviously, if we all have the same platform, we can all work together. County IT has worked with the same product as auditors for the last three elections, so everybody's most comfortable. They are a Canadian firm based out of Halifax, and wonderful people to work with. So we're asking for 2 things here. One is to endorse the proposed voting method, which is online and telephone voting again, and to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter an agreement with IntelliVote for providing that platform for elections. And I will note, just on another side, in the report, it does mention DataFix. So DataFix is a third-party company that handles the data where we make changes and upload it back to Elections Ontario. We're able to save some money again in this case. We took a gamble. We weren't sure how, with Elections Ontario taking over the voting, how it was going to work with some of that information. But all the platforms are still using DataFix, and we've been paying a small annual amount for the last 3 years, and then the final payment next year. So we have a total of 8,109 for the 2026 budget, but in total, it'll be $12,064, considering that we've already paid DataFix the last 3 years. So happy to answer any questions on that.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Any questions? Councillor Kingma?
Thank you. Through the mayor to the clerk, in your talks with your counterparts in other municipalities, do they ever discuss the verifiability of election results using the current system? Some jurisdictions do have the capacity for an elector to go online and just verify that their vote was cast and the vote was applied properly to the tally. So is that a thing that you guys ever talk about?
It is, and IntelliVote does have that option. I think all the platforms had that option to go back and check your vote if it was cast properly. Telephone, I'm not completely sure, can't answer that, but I can definitely get back to you on how they've been to verify through telephone.
Okay. Is that information available to the public as to how to verify?
It was in the last election, and we can provide it again, make sure that's a little maybe reinforced for those that want to make sure.
Any other questions for Mike? I actually have a question, or it's maybe a comment and a question. CBC Radio did a good feature on it last week, where one of the universities did a study on voter participation. And they talked about the cards being sent and people just throwing them in their recycle box. So they were saying they're the higher propensity for voter fraud based on their statistical analysis of reviewing everything. So when we get our cards in the mail, is there, like, you have to plug your date of birth in to verify, or it's simply you're just using the code and the access number they gave you?
It's I think that it's the birth date and the code.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, good. So there are some checks and balances there. Okay. All right. Anything else for Mike? Okay, seeing none then, we have a recommendation that council approves the use of internet/telephone as the alternative voting method for the 2026 municipal election being held on Monday, October 26, 2026. And further, that council authorize the mayor and the clerk to enter into an agreement with IntelliVote Systems, Inc. for e-voting service for the 2026 municipal and school board elections. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Campbell. Second by Councillor Brody, all in favor, and that's carried. Okay, is there any other business? Councillor Kingman.
Through the mayor to Johnny, I was wondering again today if MPAC is slated to restart its reassessment cycle. Do we know anything about that?
Through the mayor to Councillor Kima, great question. And it's, I think, something that most treasurers are asking the same type of question to MPAC in the province. At the MFOA, which is the finance conference for the province, there was no mention of any restart of the reassessment. But I can definitely continue to ask. But as of right now, there's no additional information.
I might add, the AMO is actively pursuing that as well. So. Anything else? I'd just like to take a moment to welcome two new businesses to Adelaide Metcalfe, Rico Wholesale Cash and Carry and 60 Wings, which is on 9 2nd Street there. Both of these businesses had grand openings in the last couple of weeks, and they were packed, very well attended, very interesting products and offerings. And I encourage everyone to support those businesses. I think it's not only great for Adelaide Metcalfe, but it's also good for Strathroy Caradoc and the entire district. Everybody wins when there's economic development. It creates jobs in our community, and it's a good news story, that's for sure. Okay, if there's nothing else, then we have a recommendation that bylaw 47 of 2025, the temporary use agreement for Emmanuel Botello. Manny Aguirre, thanks for getting me off the hook, for 29064 Hansford Road, bylaw 48 of 2025, the alternative voting method, and the 2026 municipal and school board elections, and bylaw 49 of 2025, confirming October 5th, 2025, received first, second, and third, and final readings. Moved by Councillor Brody, seconded by Councillor McKinnon, all in favor, and that's carried. Okay. We have a motion to adjourn at 7:23 PM. Moved by Councillor Brody, second by Councillor Campbell. All in favor? That's carried. So our next meeting is Wednesday night, and it is a special meeting to receive the reports and review the process that we've put in place to discuss the wind turbine project that was proposed to council here a little while ago. And that starts at 6 PM. So that's